Lovely to see all of you who have already started to be on the video mode. Appreciate it. And if you're not sure how to rename, there will be three dots, okay, where you can see your name, okay, three dots, and then you can click that. Then it'll allow you to rename, okay?
Yes, Jasmine, he is looking on it. So he'll change the name as well.
Sure,
Hi,
sure.
Jasmine.
Hi. 21 is the count. All right. Since it's like, very power packed, short time, a lot of concepts, and I also appreciate people who have joined before time and on time, I'm going to get started. Is that okay with all of you? Can I get a thumbs up?
Yeah,
It's
sure.
okay with you. All right. Great. So today's session is Ace Your Conversational Skills, the first session in our journey of these 10 weeks program. First of all, I would like to appreciate each and every one of you who has logged into this session on a Sunday morning on time. A big round of applause to all of you. I appreciate your commitment. It's not easy because 24/7 you work is what I heard, and some of you might be extracting that time away from your shift. You're putting in this effort, it'll be worthwhile. That's an assurance. I would request you to please give your complete 100% mentally and physically be in the session for the next 90 minutes. Do not get distracted unless and until it's an emergency, so that you would reap the full benefits of the session. And with that note, I've already started the recording of this conversation. Is that okay with you all? Because I need to get your concurrence. This is for your benefit because later on, when we have like so many sessions and you want to refer back to the older session, you can always go through this video. I will share this with you all, and it will be only to this group. I will not circulate it anywhere else.
Okay.
Yeah, can go ahead,
Wonderful.
Jasmine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we have 24 people now. Thank you for the concurrence. Now, the first session is Ace Your Conversational Skills. Now, this might look like a basic skill, but I would like to call it as an essential skill because research says that 1/4 of the workplace mistakes can be taken care if we take care of the conversational skills. All right. So it becomes an essential skill. Before we move on, look at this word ACE. Can any one of you tell me what does this word ACE mean for you? There are no right or wrong answers. You can feel free to share. Okay. ACE means what? Have you come across this word in the deck of cards, ace?
Yeah.
All right. So
Uh,
ace means something important. All right. And ace your conversation skills here means that you would become an expert. But however, having said that, in the 90 minutes, it's little challenging. We will learn everything. But then as we need two hands to clap, it becomes your accountability and commitment that you go ahead and practice all that we have learned here today. Then we will become an expert. Okay. It requires some time and practice. With that expectation set, let me move ahead. I've already introduced myself to you in the curtain raiser call. Do we have anybody who was not part of that curtain raiser call on Friday?
No, almost all
If
joined that day.
all join. Okay, so I'll
Yeah.
skip the introduction. Remember, my name is Jasmine. That would do. All right. Now, a few expectation from all of you. Listening is the difficult part. It's not easy, especially in a virtual setting. Okay? So please request you to listen, and so that you will also know what is happening and you can ask your questions now and then. And then please participate. Whenever there are questions asked, whenever there are discussions, go ahead and share your thoughts. There is no need to feel hesitated whether what you're saying will be silly, whether what you're saying will be right or wrong. This is a training forum. We can fail together and learn together. This is a group. There is no outside people involved. That's one of the main reasons why I wanted to have a customized session for this group. So all of them are your friends, so you can feel free to share your thoughts. That's when you will learn, you will feel involved, and the session will not be boring. And last but not the least, I believe in this motto that we should have fun in the right proportion when we are learning, so that we will laugh about it, we will discuss together, and we will remember it. So now and then you will hear me talking about the psychology, aspects. Bear with me, because as all of us are human beings and it is impactful to give the psychological tips now and then, I will share about it as well. I can see Nelson has joined as well. Nelson, thank you, because I heard him say that he would be a little late.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good to see you all as well. Okay.
Yeah, all good.
Now,
Jasmine.
great. Okay.
Okay.
So now the agenda. We will start with the definition of conversation because each one of us might have a definition of conversation. Since we are a group, we will go on the same pages in terms of the definition, and then we will move on to barriers of conversation, tips to improve conversational skills, benefits of handling difficult conversations, and then 5 strategies to handle difficult conversations. And we will have a couple of role plays because 90 minutes is a very short time. So we will see 2 role plays. You would have 101 scenarios on the floor, which I might not be able to address it here, but I'll give you a template using which you can go ahead and address them using these 5 strategies. Okay, pretty packed session. So please be with me. What is a conversation? We have so many ideas. Okay, you guys are experts. You know what to do in terms of technology or troubleshooting or whatever is the term. Then imagine if you're not sure how to converse and convey that idea to the client, customer, or your manager or your team member. All these ideas will stay and remain in your mind, and it might not be useful for the others. So, conversation plays a vital role when you have to go ahead and share information, your ideas, and opinions with the others. So, that's why I called it as an essential skill. It is never a basic skill. And since English is not our first language, it becomes all the more important that we go ahead and know how to converse so that our lives become easier in terms of working with native speakers. Predominantly, all work with native speakers. Is my understanding right?
Yes.
Okay. You can even give a thumbs up if unmuting and talking now and then is stuff. Okay. All right. Take your mobile phone. This is the time we get into polling. Go into the website slido.com. All right. Go into the website slido.com and enter the code 4190897. I'll also put it in the chat. 4190897. Once you enter this code, you will see a question popping up. What stops you from speaking or initiating a conversation? All right. Sometimes you want to say something, then due to some reason you don't say it. Or maybe someone else says and you want to say some other point, but you're not saying it. So, what is the reason? This is an anonymous poll. Your name will not come there. Go ahead and feel free to share what's on your mind. What stops you from speaking or even initiating a conversation, especially in the work setup or in general also? All right. Slido.com 4190897. Is this noted? Can I move on to the next screen where I can see your answers? Thank you for that thumbs up there. I'm going to switch screen. Let me know if you can see the other screen also. Let me stop sharing and then reshare. I'm just trying to take the next screen, okay? Let me just take the window and come back to you, please. Let me know if you're not able to see my screen, okay? Is my screen visible?
No.
No. Yeah,
Yeah,
now
now
you're
it's
Yeah, Jasmine.
Okay, but which screen do you see? Are you seeing the Zoom screen?
Yes, Zoom screen.
All right, okay.
now it's changed.
Oh, okay. Having a little bit of difficulty here. Now, which screen are you able to see? Yes, I got it. Okay. Able to see the screen where the answers are coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jasmine.
So not sure if I'm right. Rating, doubt, hesitation, the environment where I don't have content. Okay. Communication, shyness, hesitation. You can feel free to share multiple inputs also. I can see that only 8 people have shared. You can feel free to share. So this is what I'm talking about. When a question is asked, when something is supposed to be given from you as an answer, what is stopping you from initiating that conversation or replying to it? So that's the question. Okay. If you're not sure, also, you can go ahead and write that. Yeah. I can see 10 people have replied. What will others think? I'm glad that you're being honest. Okay. Good. Communication. Okay. What if my idea goes wrong? Yeah, that's a fear. If it is wrong, shyness, hesitation. Hesitation is coming up multiple times. Reluctance. Thank you for being honest. Why to talk, right? That's also another thought. Have a fear of initiating. All right. Idea goes wrong is also coming up often. Fear is coming up often. All right. Okay. Let me also go ahead and see it on a bigger screen. So shyness and not sure if I'm right. Fear of being wrong is predominant. Right? You may have to type in quickly. So relevance is coming in, anxiety is coming in. Okay. I'm glad that all of you are being honest. Okay. So I'll give 1 more minute and then we will move on. Okay. Because more or less similar answers are coming in. I can also see fear, talk in group. Absolutely. Um, Apart from death, the second biggest fear human beings have is public speaking. So which is speaking to a group. So you are not alone. All right. That's based on the statistics. All right. Now let me move from this screen. All right. So far you saw so many answers, right? We have also done a research. Yeah. And I'm going to share my research with you all in this slide, okay, which I'm going to share right now. I never knew what could be your answers earlier. Let's notice that, okay? This polling was taken right now, and then the research was already done, and I have created my slide. So let's see what's here on the slide. And what you have said, if it's not here, also don't worry, okay? So I have taken top 6. You have given a lot of answers. I've taken top 6. The first one is fear of being wrong. Many people hesitate to talk because they are wondering, what if I say something and it is wrong? I don't want to feel embarrassed. Okay. What if I use a wrong word? What if I say something which is not relevant, suitable? I think that was coming there in your polls as well, polling answers as well. Difference of opinion. This did not come, but in a business per se, this is also very relevant. Okay. When you talk to native speakers and English is not our first language, we are prepared with our answer of troubleshooting. Okay. But if client or the customer disagrees, we're not sure what to do. We know the technology part of it, but how to disagree? All right. And then comes anxiety, not just anxiety, anxiety of hierarchy also, because we always think clients are here. Okay. It might be important, but sometimes that becomes an anxiety. What if I say something and the client, like, kind of fires back at me? Worried about consequences. This anxiety can also be because of the fact you have hesitation talking to your superiors because we think, oh, if I say something, it might come back to me. Wherein your superiors might be waiting that you should open up and talk to them. All right. And then maybe it's lack of confidence also. I have not spoken in a crowd. Remember, somebody said, like, fear of speaking in the crowd, right? And maybe you are a person from your childhood, you're raised in such a way that you have not spoken unless spoken to. Why to talk unnecessarily? Yeah. Let's reserve energy. But I'm just saying that on a lighter note. But these are all our thoughts. Yeah. And then trouble with social skills. Not to put us down, but when it comes to Indians, especially South Indians, by nature, we are not very loud people. We are a little soft spoken. I have worked with people from lovely professional university who are predominantly from Punjab. They're very loud people. Okay. They're very, very outspoken. Right. So that might be the reason. Trouble with social skills. Or it can also be the language barrier. Yeah. Not familiar with English. I'm not spoken often. So I don't know which choice of words to use. And that other person with whom I'm interacting, he or she is very fluent in English. So that might become a barrier. All right. So if you see, most of the things which you have put in that word cloud is here. Some of it might be missed because we can't take all the situations. Depending on the time frame, we have taken what we can cover. All right. Now I'm going to share something with you, which is again based on some gatherings from Harvard and other articles. Myths about communication and conversation. Talking in English like a native speaker is important. Now, let me give you another situation. You ask your client to speak in Tamil or Hindi or whichever is your mother tongue. Is that possible for them to talk fluently like you? Is it possible?
No.
Definitely not. Yeah. And there is not any necessary also for them. But however, since English has become our business language, whether we like it or not, we have to equip ourselves in such a way that the opposite person understands us. But you don't have to talk exactly like a native speaker. That's what adds the stress, not necessary. Then should know many fancy words in English. Take the Hindu newspaper, go through all the tough words, see the dictionary. I have to use this word somewhere that only then, my English is of high standard. Not necessary. In our session, if you observe all the words which I am using, the module has simple but easy to understand. So conversation, the purpose is to make the other person understand. So you can have limited vocabulary and still speak in English. And then the third myth is conversing with people in a higher hierarchy is tough. They are also human beings. They have crossed your path and they have come. They might be approachable. It's just your assumption that it is tough. That's why I call it as a myth. It may be true, might not be true, depending on what you are believing. Now, the reason why I'm taking you through barriers before going to tips is if you just Google tips to converse, it'll easily come. But we follow usually a holistic approach in my training session where we talk about the barriers, what is stopping you, and then bring you back from that. Then what happens is you will be convinced. We are logical beings. When we are convinced only, we will buy a point or we will change also. So that's why the discussion. Anywhere you have some point to talk, you can always feel free to share. Okay. Now, this is based on a research again. Psychologist Albert Mehrbin says that in a conversation, 55% of the weightage goes to body language. 55%. Yeah. And then 38% goes to tone, how we say something. All right. And then 7% goes to words. But remember our barriers. Most of our fear were around the words. What if I say something it's relevant? Fear of speaking itself because my words might be wrong. So we were in the third number most of the time, wherein that takes a weightage of only 7%. Now, if body language doesn't carry 55%, we would have not got the proverb, first impression is the best impression. When you get into a call with a client or a customer, especially when it is a video call, that's when, the 55% weightage comes. If it is only a telephonic conversation where audio is involved, then tone takes the higher weightage and then words. Either way, words come third, takes the third place. All right. So English is a language, conversation is a skill, and it is learnable. Pay attention to your body language, your tone, and then words. So what in body language? Let me tell you that. So posture, how you sit. When you're in a call with a client or a customer or you're in office, sit in such a way that your backbone is straight and your shoulders are square so that it kind of radiates confidence from you. Because by just looking at you, somebody has already formed their impression. Your words, your technology expertise comes next. I'm not saying that's not important, but I'm just prioritizing what comes first. Then comes your gesture. A book on body language says if a person has gestures like this, which is open hands, it means the person is transparent and open. Okay. But if your hand posture is already like this when you're talking to somebody, it means that you're dominating. All right. And if you've seen certain news readers, most of the time they'll have hands like this, like this. This also shows confidence. Hope you can see it. Okay. And I know a lot of people, okay, in my training batches, classroom sessions, they sit like this with arms crossed against their chest. Again, a book on body language says this means that you're being defensive. But however, having said all this, we might be sitting like this because it might be our habit. Because back in our school days, the teacher would have told us like, sit quietly. Okay. Okay. So they would have said, sit quietly like this. So that might be a habit also. But what I'm trying to tell you is whenever you converse, pay attention to your body language. How are you sitting? How is your facial expression? Are you smiling? Are you frowning? Are you looking away? So body language in general is how we carry ourselves. So 55% of the weightage goes to this, right? Then comes tone. Yeah. Effective communication depends much more on your tone of voice and body language than the words you say. Another expert has said. Okay. And when it comes to tone, it adds emotion. Imagine you're talking to your friend after some time. He or she has never mentioned that they are sad. But by just from their tone, you might ask them a question. Why do you sound so low? Is something bothering you? So tone adds emotion. So when you're talking to a native speaker, you may have to pay attention to your intonation. Intonation is nothing but the rise and fall in your voice. Yeah. Have you seen the ECG graph? At least in the movies, the ECG graph.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
Jasmine.
Okay. How does it look like?
Sometimes.
Ups and downs?
Yeah,
What does it
like
mean if it's a straight line? What does it mean if it's a straight line?
that.
Dead. Dead.
Absolutely. So similarly, our voice has to have its up and down. If doesn't have, then it doesn't impress the native speakers. Okay. It is a cultural aspect. Our language is not very expressive. It's beautiful, but not very expressive. But when it comes to English, even when they say good morning, how are you today? It's very expressive. Okay. So 38% of the weightage goes to tone. So when you're opening the call, be brisk and enthusiastic and have that ups and downs. Imagine this virtual session which is happening. If I'm going to sit like this, okay, and talk to you all, guys, how are you all today? After some time, Madan is smiling. After some time, you'll be thinking this lady ate breakfast or what? Yeah. So I am giving you cultural aspects which can impress your customers and clients. You don't have to pay always attention only to words. But however, having said that, the training session itself is happening using words and, of course, body language and tone. Words are also important because they have power, they can impact. But when it comes to words, try to pay attention to positive words. Yeah. Nobody in the world is interested about what you can't do. Thereby, I'm not saying you can't tell the client an honest opinion on you can't do something, but put it in a different way. I wish I can do this, but what I can do today is this. All right. Yeah. And I've given you a lot of situations here, starting from exchanging pleasantries. Okay. Because I remember in the word cloud, there was a person who has mentioned greeting. This is again another cultural aspect. Your clients or customers who are native speakers, when I say native speakers, English speaking people, they prefer that we started with the human interaction and then go into the business interaction. So started with how are you today? How was your day? If the customer is really not irate, okay? And then move on to the business interaction. So I've given you pointers for every situation. I wouldn't say every situation, most of the situation. And there is a Word document here, which I will email it to you as a part of your participant guide. That has almost 15, closer to 15 situations using which you can talk to your customers or clients. Now, you might be wondering, Jasmine, should I mug it up? Okay, I'll give you an idea. When I was in a call center, I began my career in Hutch. Hutch is called as Vodafone now. Every week, I will learn one or two phrases, okay, using which I can interact with my customers. It can be used during the time I transfer the call, or I close the call, or I begin the call, or I correct myself, or I disagree with the customer. Every week, I will learn two phrases. Okay. So 5 days, 6 days I used to work. So 6 days I used to practice the same two phrases in various situations. So it becomes a part of me. I will memorize it. Second week, another two phrases. So when the month is over, I have almost 8 phrases at my disposal. Yeah. So I'm using simple words which are relevant for my calls. Similarly, when you troubleshoot, when you transfer the call, when you go ahead and talk in escalation calls, what can help you? Pick it up from here. Memorize it. When I say memorize, practice it throughout that week or couple of weeks. Then you are well versed in it. Then move to the next two phrases. Does this sound relevant for you? Is this doable?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
doable.
Yeah. Just
Mm, doable. But I would also request you to take a commitment that you will do it, experiment it. Okay. Because if we learn and we don't go ahead and implement it, everything becomes just knowledge and you will eventually forget. Practicing will ensure that it becomes a part of you. So that's where, I need your commitment. I would not be able to do anything there. Yeah. So far, are you all with me? Barriers, three things: body language, tone, words, positive words. So far, are you with me? Yeah. Okay. I can see the thumbs up there. That's also fine. Now comes tips to improve your conversational skills. Okay. I'm going to move to difficult conversations a little later. Yeah. And pay some time there. Now comes tips to improve your conversational skills. This is something which you're requested to do even after this training session is over. Okay. Again, let me give you a disclaimer. It might look very basic, but believe me, I have used it with a lot of trainees, a lot of engineers, a lot of corporate people, and it works because we have different learning styles. Some of us might be very visual, some of us might be auditory. We like to listen. Some of it might be very kinesthetic, which is we like to experience that and learn. And some of us might like to read a lot of blogs, articles. So it is called as VAR: visual, auditory, read and write, and then kinesthetic. So if you're a person who doesn't like to read book, okay, reading loudly, if it doesn't appeal to you, then you can listen to audiobooks, listen to technology books, listen to podcasts. Use your ears and train your ears so that you can understand native speakers. Because sometimes comprehending them is also difficult, isn't it? Because I don't think 24 by 7 we will always talk in English. Sometimes we will talk to our colleagues in Tamil or Hindi, or which is your mother. So read loudly every day. There is a project manager who is coming in and attending a one-to-one session with me. Can you believe a project manager? Okay. He's very senior. And every day, I wouldn't say every day, every week, twice he comes, and every week I make him to read. And he reads very happily. And he is taking the session with me for almost 6 months now. We are in phase 8, and his confidence level and his fluency has really, really gone up because he is a geek. He is technically really good. But this place is where he needed help, and he uses some of this and it works for him. And you can also write. If you like to write, you can write because I write a lot. Yeah. And then watch movies. When you watch first time, watch it with subtitles. The second time, watch it without that so that you will understand using your ears. Okay. And then whenever an opportunity is given, go ahead and speak up. Don't sit there wondering what if you're wrong. What is the worst thing can happen when you're wrong? What is the worst thing which can happen when you're wrong? You're saying something, it becomes wrong. What is the worst thing as a consequence which can happen to you?
They laugh at us.
Absolutely correct. And it might be a little embarrassing. That is one situation. Second, there might be somebody there who might even correct you. And that becomes a learning for you. And if you have sat there without trying that, without getting laughed at, you would have never learned it. You would always remain like stagnancy. So it is better to try and then be lost and then corrected than not learn it at all. So that's the approach we need to have. Nobody has come to this state which you are in without any skills. You all are very talented. And this training program is not happening because you lack something. This training program is happening because we want to upskill. All right. That's why I put the group name also as upskilling. This is upskilling. All right. So, how to become from better to best. So, use these tips. And the last one, if you see here, take the support of mentors. Have mentors within your team. Okay. And attend training sessions like this, which is already something which you have started and it's definitely going to help you. Keep practicing. So, this session would be over today. Then, before we could meet the next session, you have like 5, 6 days. Take some point from here which appeals to you because I don't know whether you're visual, auditory, or kinesthetic. I'm not sure. You know it. So, whichever appeals to you, take that tips and keep practicing on it every day, 5 minutes. I don't know if you know this Bruce Lee's words. I am not worried about a person who knows 100 kicks. I am worried about the person who has practiced one kick 100 times. So, what he is saying is, you will become skilled when you go ahead and practice. So, any one of the tips, do you commit to practice, till we meet next time and after that also? Just one of the tips from here. Hmm?
So, Jasmine.
All right, sure, it's coming, but then a little more enthusiasm from the others also. Can we commit to practice at least on one of the tips?
Yeah, sure. That will
Yeah,
do.
Jasmine. Good.
All right. Thank you. I trust you all that you will practice it. Now comes the second segment of our session. Okay. How to handle difficult conversations. All right. Now, um, what are some difficult conversations according to you? I would request you to either unmute and say or use the chat. I want interactions here. Okay. I'm going to view the chat also. I see a message here. Vijay, thank you for saying that people should be on camera. What are some difficult conversations according to you, especially in the work setup? Okay. Now you need to answer. I'm going to wait for at least 30, 40 seconds.
So when other end person is not ready to listen to
I
us,
I couldn't hear you well. Sorry. What is it? What is that?
when we are having a conversation, the other party is not ready to accept what we are saying.
Okay. You are saying something, the other person has a difference of opinion, or maybe they are very upset emotionally. They're not ready to listen to you. Okay. That's a very valid point. Thank you for sharing that. What else? Escalations. Are they not difficult conversations? Escalations.
Yes, Jasmine. Escalations are the difficult one.
Okay. So why didn't it come up? Yeah. So this is where the barrier comes, right? Like, we want to say something. We're wondering, we're sitting, but we don't say it. Yeah. So that's a place where you can feel free to talk. There is no right or wrong answer. We are here in training to gather, brainstorm, collaborate, and learn. You have invested in yourself. Make maximum utilization of that. Talk. If you don't talk here, how will you go ahead and talk afterwards? You might not want to like talking. Okay, sometimes we have this thought, oh, I don't like to talk much. Okay, it's your personal opinion, but business demands that you have to say a few things which are relevant. Go ahead. All right, customize and adapt according to that. After that, back in your home, you don't want to talk, that's your you know will. Be completely are okay with it. Escalation, what else? Think about what's happening at work. Where have you felt difficult to converse with others? Those situations. Sometimes talking in appraisal meetings, has it become tough?
So even hierarchy while talking to
Hierarchy.
yeah, while talking to the person who
Mm,
is 15 years, 10 years, 12 years
mm,
working in the organization, and
mm,
that really makes us to hesitate sometime, like yeah, what he may thinks about us, like
mm,
whether the asked question is appropriate to him or
mm. That's a very valid point. I'm glad that you're thinking from your practical aspects and giving. That was Sugna Patel, right?
yes.
Okay, thank you for that valid input. So what he has done is he's thinking from practical aspects and he's sharing that points. So somebody who's like 15 years experienced, we start doubting ourselves, okay, because we have not reached there. However, the other person might not even think wrong about what you're saying. Only it's our assumption which stops us. Hence, the conversation looks difficult for us. Okay. Or it might be in reality also difficult. He or she might not be an approachable person. All right. Whatever it is, there are a lot of difficult conversations. Some of it are here. It may be more than this also. But then, since you did not answer, I'm showing the slide here. So, escalations, client meetings, reviews, appraisals, feedback sessions, and very rarely layoffs. I'm just not including it for you, but in general, we also have some leaders. So, I'm including it here. Have you gone through a feedback session where somebody's giving you feedback? Can you think about that situation, whether you felt really comfortable or uncomfortable, at least before going into the feedback? Have you wondered, oh, what would they say? What did I do? What happened? Has these thoughts come to your mind when you go into a feedback session?
Yes, it used.
Yeah. All right. I'm also going to call out names randomly now. Yeah. Samsung SM A336E. Who's that? Who's that? Samsung SM A336E. Please change your name. You will not get attendance. I will not know who are you. Please change. There will be three dots near your name. Change it, rename yourself. Okay. Srihari, would you want to answer this? Have you ever got feedback and how did you feel about it?
It's a good one.
Sorry, say that again, Srihari.
Good
Feedback,
one.
you have felt good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe the person who gave you made you feel really comfortable. Okay. Thank you for that answer. How about you, Maheshwaran? Have you received feedback or given feedback? And what was your feeling? Do you feel comfortable or uncomfortable?
No, I haven't received any feedback.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. How about escalations? Okay. Maheshwaran, have you handled an escalation? How has that made you feel? Comfortable or uncomfortable?
No, Jasmine, I'm pressure to this thing.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. You're yet to get there. All right. How about
Yeah, yeah.
Gopal? Thanks, Maheshwaran. How about Gopal? Escalations.
Escalation, I'm comfortable. If I'm not aware of the handling, not issues anything. If a manager review the escalation, then I'm difficult to conversion because whatever issue we need to properly convey to the managers properly.
Mm,
If
okay.
I'm not aware of the issue, so we can't convey to managers, any someone because
Mm,
conversion very important.
yeah.
The basic escalation is very important. If one user escalator means we need to convey why escalation
Mm,
happening further
mm,
in
mm,
proper justify.
mm.
This is very important for now.
Absolutely. That's a very valid point what you said because our conversation also comes there. When it is an escalation, when you're escalating to the next manager or the leader, whoever it is, when you're conveying, you need to give that why this is getting escalated. So that's not an easy task. Okay. So thank you for that answer because Gopal, you picked it up from the practical situation and you conveyed. Thank you. Now, if I don't call your name, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't talk. It's just that, like, I wanted to include people randomly. I'm calling out names. But if you have a point, feel free to please share your thoughts. Okay. And again, I would like to appreciate people who are on the video. Um, I can see few people who are not on the video. All right. If possible, come on the video so that we will able to see you and talk. Yeah. It's not because of lack of trust. Sometimes people think, oh, I should be on video because they want to see if I'm listening or not. Definitely, that's not the reason. I would like to see your face, okay, your reaction, your smile, and then talk so that it gives a feeling of exactly an interaction. Yeah, because we are human beings, we need face value. That's the only reason. That's why I gave you a heads up so that you can be all dressed up professionally, not in your house clothes and all that. Yeah, so please feel free to come on the video. Now, again, a question to you. There are two things which human beings actually do not like. I don't know if you've heard about it. One is being questioned. Second one is receiving advices. Unfortunately, today I'm doing both of that to you, right? But I don't have a choice. So please feel free to answer. What makes these conversations challenging? Whether it's escalation or whether it's handling complaints or whether handling customer calls or attending client meetings or talking to your superiors, what makes these conversations difficult or challenging? What's your thought? Prem Kumar, would you like to answer your opinion on this, please?
Yes, what if they ask with the unknown topics of or else so the mistakes which we made. So what about the questions about that and
Mm,
these things will be running to.
okay, all right. So what if they question more on the mistakes which has happened? Is it correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. Thank you. Shahid, would you like to share any points around this? What makes
No, no, no.
okay, at least you said no, that's fine. Seshadrin, would you like to share?
Mm, no idea, Jasmine.
All right, no problem. Fair enough. Okay. See, we don't have to know everything, right? Some of you are freshers, some of you are yet to get there into difficult conversations. It's absolutely fine. All right. Any conversation, even a conversation with your colleague, okay? Sometimes you are handling over some ticket to this person, maybe you would not be available and the other person doesn't have a reciprocity to go ahead and accept that ticket, even that becomes a difficult conversation. Okay? Let's not have a thought that only escalations are difficult conversations. Anytime you have a little bit of friction while you're talking to your colleague, your supervisors in the work setup, your work routine also becomes challenging. Right? So let's go ahead and see what makes these difficult. Let's be very honest, okay? When we are in a difficult conversation, either at work or in person, many times our concentration is more on projecting our opinion across to the other person. Think about it. Okay. You had a fight with your loved ones. Many a times, what happens is the first thing which we want to do is that my opinion is right. This is what you need to listen. But this will not come as words, but we will talk for our opinion only. That makes it a little challenging. When there is an escalation, the client wants to win, the customer wants to win. You also want to convince the customer, oh, this is not doable. You also want to win. Both of us who are involved want to win, so it becomes very challenging. And second thing is, it includes a lot of emotions also. Whenever a conversation is a normal conversation, both of you are talking about movies, lighter things, that's different. But when it is business and one person thinks that their needs are not met, then they become a little upset, angry, frustrated. Lot of emotions come in. And then Gopal also, I remember sharing an opinion there that we need to know why this is escalated. For that, when we are sharing it with the manager, we need to convey it correctly. So there comes a little bit of anxiety. So a lot of emotions come into picture. Okay. Yeah. So now I'm going to give you 6 strategies to handle any difficult conversation in the work setup. It need not be only escalations or customers or clients. It can also be talking to your colleagues or talking to your superiors or talking to just a senior member to get help on something. All right. Let's start from the left. Start with the small talk. That's the first point. Okay. Before we move on, has anyone come across this word small talk? What is a small talk? Have you heard about it? Small talk. If not, also you can tell me. It's okay. We are here to learn together.
No,
No?
Jasmine, I haven't heard.
All right. Thank you for that answer.
So
Now,
maybe introduction to the
somebody saying
escalation
introduction.
to the escalation matter.
Okay. So when
So
you
what
start a
process?
call, go ahead, Sugna. You finish it. Then I will say. What did you say? Introduction and then?
Give the introduction to the issue that got escalated. The
Okay.
briefing.
Yeah, briefing. Briefing is part of a business conversation. Small talk is you begin the conversation with the human interaction and then you move on to the business interaction. That's small talk. I have a very small video for it. I'm going to show that to you. Then we'll come back. From the video, what did you understand in terms of small talk? You all will tell me. Okay. So please watch the video carefully. Very, very short video. Let me share my screen. Okay. 1 minute. Let me just reshare the screen. Let me know if you can see the video screen, please.
Yeah, Jasmine, you can see.
Okay, thank you. Were you able to hear the music?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, all right, thank you.
Have you ever been in an elevator only to realize you have nothing to say when your boss steps in? Before you hyperventilate, even thinking about it, take into consideration these tips to become more conversational. Most opportunities spark from conversation. It's a free investment. You'll be recognized for taking the time to chat with that person. And a study from the University of Michigan showed that social interactions boost problem-solving skills by forcing you to read people's minds and take their perspective. First, look for someone approachable. Start with a smile and introduction. This puts everyone at ease. Communications expert Carol Fleming says to remember the acronym R. Anchor. Find something you have in common. This can be something you've experienced or something you're both experiencing in that moment. Reveal. Say something about yourself that relates to your anchor topic, creating trust and providing something for them to respond to. Encourage. This is your time to ask a question, prompting them to respond. Keep your questions open-ended. This allows for a more in-depth conversation. If you're stumped for a topic, stick to easy ones like their job, hobbies, and family. But always remember, stay away from controversial topics like politics. A compliment works well too, just be sure to transition the conversation afterward. Some people don't know how to handle them. Using the person's name in conversation will also yield good results. People appreciate the special attention. And remember to listen. People love to talk about themselves. Restate what you hear to show you are listening. Now is not the time to be shy. Get in that elevator, smile, and make small talk.
Okay. So you saw the video now. So now tell me from the video, what did you understand about small talk? Again, let me encourage you. No right or wrong answers. You are watching the video for the first time. Whatever you have understood, please tell me. Go ahead, please. There's a lot of pause. So either the video was not clear or you are thinking. Either one of it. Which is it?
Thinking actually.
Thinking. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, because you're watching it for the first time. And I will share this video link also along with the participant guide. Let me ask you this way. When you begin a conversation, okay, with a customer, how do you open the conversation? You will straight away get into the troubleshooting part, or what do you say? You greet the customer.
Yes, we'll greet the customer and we'll introduce ourselves and we'll go with the flow.
Okay. So that part is called as the small talk. All right. Now, when it comes to US or UK clients or whoever is the native speaker, it is part of their culture that they are very courteous. Okay. They like to start it with a conversation like that, and then they dive into the business conversation. They don't usually, okay, not there might be differences, but usually they don't like to straight away talk about business unless and until it is very critical. So they might start with a question like, how are you today? Okay. Sometimes just with reply of fine is not very appropriate. All right. It becomes basic courtesy that you also ask them that question. I'm doing good. How about you? How are you today? All right. That builds rapport. Second question to you. Do you address the customer with sir or madam, or do you use their name? How do you, work it in your setup?
So you need to use the first name.
First name.
Yeah.
First name. Beautiful. What if a customer has a first name which you can't pronounce, which is like, according to you, very difficult to pronounce? What would you do then?
Take the last name, whichever is convenient.
All right.
No,
So that's
we'll ask them how to pronounce your name.
okay.
Still, if we find it
Google
difficult,
speaks.
then we'll ask them how can we call you.
All right. Okay. So I remember this. There was a customer whose name was Bob Rapsinski. Okay. Rapsinski was a tough name, right? Now, he liked to be called with his full name. So it was very tough for anybody to pronounce. So the best way is to ask the customer, may I know how do you pronounce your name? Then the customer might give you a very easy way. I remember in my earlier career when I was working with Middle East, Turkey, and other country clusters, were a lot of names which are very, very tough. Okay. Then when I ask them, they will give me short names. Call me, Kali. Okay, there will be a big name, Kaliona something, a German name. But then person said, give me Kali. I told her, like, you made my life very easier. So see, I'm saying you made my life easier. That's brings in a rapport. All right. And then a person's name is music to their ears. All right. Let's assume, you're going on the road. Somebody is calling you, hey, hey, will you turn? I don't think easily you will turn. If somebody is calling you with your name, then you will turn because it's your identity. And if they mispronounce your name, you won't like it. There are a lot of people who will call me Primrose. My name is Primrose, okay? Primrose Jasmine. And there are a set of people who would call me Prime. I remember correcting one of my colleagues couple of times. Okay, it's not Primrose, it's not Prime, it's Primrose. Okay, or call me Jasmine. Then the next time also, when she called me Prime, I told her I'm not a prime number. Okay, there are prime even numbers, right? I'm not a prime number. Call me Jazz. It will make your life easier. So sometimes people don't like to be mispronounced. Yes. So the name shouldn't be mispronounced. And when you're using the name, it adds a lot of personal value and it builds rapport. From our culture, it might look very simple. We might think, oh, I need to say good morning. That's not a very big deal. I am troubleshooting. I am giving him the solution, isn't it? That's also important. This is also important. And when we have the combination, your call, your conversation becomes beautiful. That's why small talk is important. Now, small talk, is it clear? Using the customer's name, greeting, asking generic questions. If they are complimenting you for something, saying thank you for the compliment. Things like that. So far with me, any questions? No? Yes? Okay. Then comes the most important point for you to have a good conversation with anybody. Universal tip, prioritizing building trust. I'm going to stop by and trouble you with another question. Can you define trust? Because every word has a different meaning for each one of us. If you ask me definition of friendship, you know what I will define as? I will say friendship is being consistent with me. If my friends are often texting me and asking me how I am, calling me, speaking to me, that so can also happen once in a while, but texting is very important for me. Keeping in touch with me is important. So my definition of friendship is this. But for you, the definition of friendship might be different. You might say, oh, even if we see once in a year, still he or she is my good friend. So definition varies. So what is your definition of trust? Do we have anybody who does not understand Tamil here? We have some Hindi speaking people also.
Yeah, me, Bilal.
Okay. Bilal. I think it's Barosa in Hindi. Okay. I'm not an expert in Hindi.
Okay, yeah,
So
right.
then, yeah, yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Right.
In Tamil, it is Nambikai. Okay. Yeah. So your definition of trust. Give me your definition of trust. Trust means what for you? Oh, Canada is
Belief.
also there. Okay. Belief. Okay. Thank you for that response. And belief is there. Okay, Vijay is
Believing
saying we are
someone blindly.
believing someone blindly. Okay, Madan is saying that. Or Rajan was it Rajan? I'm not sure.
No, it's mother.
Madan. Okay, all right. I have not heard Rahul speak at all. Or did you speak? I did not understand you. Suresh. Rahul. Palani.
Yes.
Please speak. Tell me. Trust means what? Now imagine I am giving you the strategy and I'm telling you you should do this, then trust will build. If you don't define trust, then how will you go ahead and implement that? Yeah. Nelson.
Yeah, I think.
Nelson. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's confidentiality. So it's
Okay.
yeah.
As soon as I see Nelson's name, I can remember only director Nelson, you know. Okay.
Stand on yours.
Somebody else said something. What did he say again? Please say it again.
The trust is like stand on your words.
Stand on your words. That's my favorite definition because, you know, if I say something, usually I follow it. I don't go back on my words. I don't like people when they go back on their words. If my friends tell me they'll meet this weekend and they don't come, cancel it last minute. If it is medical emergency, I'll be okay. But otherwise, I become very, very angry. Yeah. So that is trust for me. You say something, you mean it. Okay, good. Now, how can you build trust with your stakeholders? My question is, how can you build this trust which you defined with your stakeholders, especially in the work?
So if the person is true to his words, so I think
Absolutely.
and
So, yeah, go ahead. And
I think so that there is no backbiting about the personal thing. So that's
mm,
also considered the part of the trust, I think.
definitely, yes. Now, if you're going to backbite about somebody, that's a good point which you brought. That person who's listening to you might think, in a person's absence, he's telling me this. So, in my absence, also, he might comment about me like this. This is what they will think. It'll break trust. They might look like they're listening to you, but this is what will be running in their mind. Thank you for that valid point, Nelson. Appreciate it. So, as a person, as an engineer, or whatever is your role, when you tell customers something and you go ahead and call them back on that day, you go ahead and give a solution on that day, you go ahead and do what you're promised. In case if the solution which you promised to offer is affected because of external factors, at least you call them and tell them that you are true, your integrity is maintained. Okay, then the trust with the customer will be built. Next time when something happens, you are handling it, they'll see the name and they will automatically trust you because you have got their goodwill. So building trust is not easy. Breaking it is very, very easy. All right. So building trust, live by your words and set the right intention. Whenever you are getting into a difficult conversation, even with your colleague, okay, tell them, I want to have this conversation with you because I feel this way. When you said that day, this choice of word, I felt a little upset and I value our friendship. So I wanted to tell you this. So what you're doing is you're not talking behind the back. You are going ahead and directly telling that person. All right. But if you're going to live in your world, oh, they should have understood it. Why I should say, nobody is a magician to read your mind. Okay. You need to at least once or twice say it. Even after that, they are doing that, you can take a call. Coming back to the work setup. What else can build trust? Words, living by your words, putting it into action, not just saying it, but putting it into action, and going ahead, even if something is going wrong, keeping the customer informed. Because sometimes what happens to, we'll get afraid. Oh, I told them I'll give a solution today. This happened. If I tell them, they'll get upset. It is better that you tell them, they face it rather than you don't tell them at all. Okay. So building trust is a combination of all this. So this will help you to handle any escalation, any difficult conversation, even talking to your superiors very, very easily. So far, are you with me? Starting the conversation with a small talk, not straight away diving into business conversation so that you can build rapport. Second is building trust so people believe you so that you have created that goodwill. Next time something happens, they know that you will take care of it because you have earned their trust. So far, are you with me?
Yeah, Jasmine.
Okay, I can see a couple of people who have left. If one of you can find out why, it'll be nice. Let me find out.
Jasmine, do you have a power fluctuation over here? That's something. The Wi-Fi is being disconnected.
Okay, all right, fair enough. You can go off video if you know the bandwidth will consume a lot of your internet. You can go off video. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
Mm. Next comes emotions. In any conversation, there will be emotions involved. And in neuroplasticity, they have found out something which is called as mirror neurons. So, what this mirror neuron is, let's assume you go watch a movie. It's an emotional movie. By looking at the screen, you do not know that person. Okay, you're not personally connected to that person. But by looking at that sadness, sometimes you might feel emotional. Yeah, I remember, watching movies with my family. Sometimes, I need to give them handkerchief and all that because they'll be crying. So that is a mirror neuron. By looking at the emotion of the other person, automatically the mirror neurons in your brain starts to reflect that emotion. Now, why I'm telling you this is when you are a professional, no matter whatever is the call, if you decide to hold on that emotion that I will be confident, I will be smiling, I will ensure that I will handle this, over a period of time, the other person, whoever is in whatever mood, whether it's a client or a superior or colleague, they will start reflecting your emotion because your emotion is strong. Let me say that again. You have the freedom to select the emotion with which you want to go ahead into a conversation. And if you hold on to that emotion firmly with strongness, with faith, and all that, the other person automatically will start to mirror your emotion. This is something which works. You can go ahead and experiment it also. That's the reason in many of the customer service industry, when there is an irate customer, especially when they talk to an experienced person with that experience, what this person will do is they will stay calm and composed. Over a period of time, the customer will mellow down. They'll also become calm and composed. This is called as mirroring. You can even later Google it, mirroring. Okay. Yeah. The third important point and the strategy is active listening. Speaking less and listening more whenever it is a difficult conversation. I think that's the reason God blessed us with 2 ears and one mouth, because He wanted us to listen more and speak less. Okay. But in the training session, you can do both. Yeah. But I'm talking about emotional situations where somebody is upset, talking to you, screaming at you, saying this is not working. There you listen. Okay. They'll calm down. And they'll also think, oh, I'm important. This person is listening to me. This happens in the background. They will not openly tell you. It happens in the background. What happens is when it comes to English, since it's not our first language, sometimes instead of paying full attention, we will be formulating our reply. Has this happened to you? You will be thinking which sentence to use next, which question to ask next. Yeah. Okay. So that is something which you can avoid. They'll give you time, even if you have some lag and then say something, they'll wait because they want the problem to be rectified. And instead of just listening mutely, go ahead and now and then say words like, I understand, certainly, rather than saying only one word, okay, okay, okay. Variate your words. And then be curious, don't judge the customer, because sometimes, we might think something small has happened. Why is this person jumping? But for them, maybe that is big. What is looking small for you might be big for them. So be curious and don't judge. And then paraphrase whenever it comes to an issue. Okay. I remember, again, I'm going to take the example which Gopal gave. So why is it escalated as something which needs to be conveyed to the manager? Here, from the beginning, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, what happened in the call, you cannot narrate it for 30 minutes. You need to say it in 2 minutes or 3 minutes. There you need to paraphrase. Can anyone tell me what is paraphrase for you? Have you come across this word, paraphrase? Or summarizing? Paraphrase, summarizing.
Short summary. Yeah, short
Short
summary.
summary. Correct. Absolutely. All right. So you will go ahead and say, this, I'm just putting the charger. Give me 1 minute. So you can go ahead and say, I spoke to this particular client or customer. He or she had so and so issue. I have shot this till this extent, but after this, this has happened. Hence, it has become an escalation. So key points. Yeah. And then now and then sound interested when a client or customer is talking to you. Now we are to the fourth strategy. All right. 2 more to go. Whenever you talk to anybody, remember to speak in specifics. Remember the 2 C's. One is clarity. Second one is courtesy. Make your message very clear. Avoid the blame game. What do I mean by that? I'll give you examples. Okay. If you look at this one, let's take the second point. Okay. You need to improve your communication skills. Somebody is telling you this. Let's assume somebody is telling you this. Is this clear for you? Communication means what in communication? Is it specific for you? In communication, there is grammar. In communication, there is fluency. In communication, there is confidence. There are a lot of things. So this message is not specific. Similarly, when you talk to the customer, rather than telling them in your technical terms, because you are the expert, you will know it, rather than telling them, what you tell them specifically in such a way that they can understand so that it's clear for them. All right. Now, next comes, not consider, sorry about that, courtesy. It is courtesy. The point is courtesy. Okay. Avoid you language. Whenever you are talking to somebody, go ahead and don't say like, you did this because of you, I was scolded by this customer. Okay. Because of the fact you were absent, I had to take this. Nobody likes to be blamed. Rather start it with I. I felt like this because, you were absent suddenly and this ticket landed on me. So I did not do what to do. Next time, can you tell me in advance? So how is the second conversation and how was the first conversation? If you say you, what will happen is you are starting a blame game. The other person will become defensive. They'll start explaining themselves. They'll say, you know what, I had this issue, so suddenly I couldn't come. They'll not even pay attention to what has happened to you. So never start a sentence with you. Go ahead and start it with I. I felt this way. Yeah. So far, 2C's clear, being clear and being courteous. Okay. Whenever you're talking to the customer, try your best to avoid the technical terms. If they understand, it's fine, but be very specific of what you want to say. And never tell the client or the customer or anyone, you have to do this. Okay. Go ahead and say, I request you to do this. Never start a sentence with you. That's what I mean. All right. I can see certain people, they left and they came back. The fifth one is collaborate and create a win-win situation. Remember why a conversation becomes difficult we saw earlier. Because your opinion is important. Other person's opinion is important. Both of them want to win. That's why when you go to appraisal, you finished 1 year, you want a hike. Okay. You believe that you have done a good job. And there comes the leader or the manager. He or she thinks that 1 or 2 area of improvements are there. 1 more year you do well, and then you will get this. So that person has an agenda, you have an agenda. Both of you want to win, right? So whenever you are handling at least customers, have this approach that you are brainstorming. You go with the collaboration mode. Okay. You go ahead and tell the customer, I'm here today to help you. I will do everything in my power to troubleshoot this for you. Okay. And then go ahead, whatever the client is saying, customer is saying, take that input, try to troubleshoot, and towards the end, get a commitment. You give a commitment. Okay. Today we did this, and I think the issue is resolved. In case if it doesn't work, may I request you to do this? Can you do it from your side once? And then if it doesn't work, come back to me. So what you're doing is you're going ahead and brainstorming, collaborating, and committing to the customer and getting the customer's commitment. Remember when I was talking about tips to improve conversational skills? Towards the end, I asked you a question. Do you commit to take at least 1 tips from here and work on it? So that is sealing the conversation with a commitment. So far, are you with me? Small talk, building trust. What was the third point?
Emotional.
Emotional content.
Okay. Not just emotional contagion. It was something else also. The third point.
Mirror neuron.
Say that again.
Mirror neuron.
Mirror neurons. Yes, you remember the concept, but what was the heading? Small talk, build trust. Third one was
Emotions.
emotions. Okay. That's where we spoke about emotional contagion, but the heading was different. And then we spoke about fourth point was speak in specifics. 2 C's, clear and
Courtesy.
courtesy. Okay, thank you. The fifth one is collaborate and create a win-win situation because everybody wants to win. The customer wants to win. You want to finish that troubleshooting and be done with your ticket and move on to the next one. All right. So come to a middle ground. And the last one is the most important because this talks about how do you close a conversation on a positive note. People remember what they hear towards the end for a longer time than the beginning of the call. That's the reason even movies, when they have a climax scene, they would have spent so much of money. Do you remember Bahubali? Right? The climax scene was so grand. They would have spent a lot of money because people remember what they see and hear towards the end for a longer time. It creates an impact. So instead of just closing the call with thank you, go ahead and close it this way. Summarize it. Okay, today you came up with this issue. We discussed this. This is what happened, and we agreed to do this. Thank you for your time. Next time, if you need any assistance, whatever is your script, I'm saying a generic script, then give further assistance and then close. Thank you for calling. Have a great day, or whatever is your script. But summarizing, thanking, future interaction, and then closing is very important. Instead of just randomly and abruptly closing it as thank you. And I also have some closing statements for you. These are some statements which is also part of the document. You can close it in a very nice way instead of just saying thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you. This was a great interaction. Looking forward to talk to you. These are not flattering sentences at all. These are all sentences which your native speakers would like. Use one or two. Every week, learn one. Remember to always close it on a positive note. Okay. So this is a quick summary of all that we saw. Start with a small talk. Prioritize building trust. Active listening. Okay. This is where the emotions, everything we were speaking about. Speak in specific. Collaborate and create a win-win situation. And then close the conversation on a positive note. This is a template you can use for any conversation, not just difficult, any conversation. That's the reason I told you on the floor, 101 situations will come. We might not be able to give you a verbatim for everything, but from here you can pick up, arrange your thoughts. Okay, I started with a human interaction, build trust, and then I listen well to the person, and then speak, and then I give them the notion that both of us should win, and then close it on a positive note. All right. We are just 10 minutes away from the end of the session. I'm going to pause by. Do we have any questions so far? Are they all tough things to do or easy things to do or doable things? Thank you, Vijay, for that comment there. Going over your head, going into your head. How is the feeling? See, again, at the back of your mind, some of you, I'm just assuming, okay? Some of you might think, but in my hectic work routine, when I'm troubleshooting, when I'm too much into technology, all this is not possible, Jasmine. You might think that way. If that thought has come, that is because you do not experiment it. All right. Now, when you're with native speakers, when English is your business language, whether you like it or not, you need to adapt to certain things. Start from doing the small talk and then the rest of the steps, at least for 2 to 3 weeks. Okay. It takes 21 days for a habit to be formed because you have been functioning in a particular way for a long time. And then you see the quality of your handling tickets and your calls. People would come and tell you, oh, you're very different from what it was earlier. How did it happen? That's a job satisfaction. I don't know if you heard this interview of actor Kamal Hassan. He said, my mom used to say, even if you're a janitor, okay, somebody who mops the floors, cleans the floor, yeah, you have to be the best janitor possible. That's the logic for us also. No matter whatever you do, you should be the best person in it. Company gives you same salary extras, all that is secondary. You be the best, everything else will come to you. That's where we have the upskilling. If you invest here, nobody can rob it. So my request to all of you is start opening up, start speaking. Nobody is going to keep a knife on your throat, even if you go wrong. The worst thing which can happen, like one of you earlier told me, is they might laugh at you. It's okay, they laugh at you. Next time when you do something good, they might even clap for you. The world is like that. Yeah. But you work on yourself, keep upskilling. Learning is not important. Going ahead and implementing what you learned is important. If not all the 6 strategies, at least one, at least two, and then see the changes. Okay. So, with that note, I'm going to move on to the role play. Yeah. So, the first role play is this. Okay. You're going to do a warm transfer. Yes. Now, you have received a ticket. Okay. You may have to go ahead and transfer it to the next person. When you transfer, I would request you to follow these tips, which is on the slide. Seek the customer's permission to transfer. Customer detail to the next executive should be given. Summarize the issue. Okay. And then inform the customer again, coming back to the line, and then you transfer. I'm going to keep the slide open for you. This is not something which is different. This is something which you are already doing in your work. Don't worry about language. Don't worry about words. Imagine a situation. Go ahead and do that. Because when the Wright brothers invented aeroplane, I don't think first time itself they created something and they flew it in the sky. No, they did a simulation, right? They did a simulation, a model. And then when it worked well, that's when they implemented. So our role plays are also like that. What we have learned, we're trying to put it here. Okay? So go ahead, seek customer's permission, customer detail to the next person, summarize the issue. You know the issue. I do not know what is the technology issue. And then inform the customer again and transfer. I need 2 volunteers, please, for this. One person to just act as the customer, the other one to act as the executor. 2 volunteers. Don't worry, nobody is going to. Yeah, Vijay is typing in something for you. I think all these are terms you understand. So please go ahead and have a look. I would really like to appreciate all of you who have come on video. It's not easy to be on video for a long time like this. I have attended coaching sessions which runs for almost 4 hours every weekend. For 2 months, I attended it. Very, very tough. I'm glad that you all were here, physically, mentally present. And next time, whoever has not come on video, next time be prepared to come. Okay. But I trust you that you would have listened. Come on, people, we don't have all the time. If you want me to finish it in 5 minutes, you need to participate. Krishna Prakash has come on video. Thank you. Vignesh, Seshadran, Palani, I think the video is on, but I don't see you. Shahid, Lokesh is also on video. Thank you. 2 people. Guys, this is not a very... Yeah, I'm going to call now randomly. Vijay, would you like to suggest 1 or 2 names?
So let me act as a customer.
Sure.
Who is that?
Listen.
Madan can be
Okay.
on the other side.
Yeah, Vijay. So Nelson is acting as a customer, right?
And who is the other person? Mother.
So,
Is it?
yeah.
Okay. All right.
So Jasmine, if you don't mind, can you give any situation for this?
Guys, you are from the work floor. You need to have a situation.
Yes.
I've put you both in the spotlight. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Nelson. So, okay. I'm starting. Do I need to actually what is the process is we will raise a customer business raise a ticket for us and we'll troubleshoot. So this is a situation where customer is calling he is calling for a Sorry, he's calling for a call regarding the troubleshooting steps and all. So that's the situation. Should I make or?
Yes.
Yeah. So from that, hi Madan. From that, I understand that what are the troubleshooting steps performed in this issue. I tried that, but it doesn't work. If you don't mind, can you transfer this call to the next level of team to troubleshoot the little bit higher level? Is it possible?
Yeah, Nelson. First of all, good afternoon. And yeah, we'll do our best. With this. Sorry, Jasmine. Think.
No, that's okay. Go ahead. Go ahead with your flow.
Yeah, Madan, take
Even
your
if
time.
you
No
miss
problem.
out, it's fine. It's okay. I'm glad that
Okay.
both of you volunteered. That's the important part. Don't worry. We'll wait for you. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, Nelson. We'll try to sort out from our side, and we'll troubleshoot the steps what we have known. Uh, we will finish it as soon as possible. Thanks for reaching us.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Madan, take your time. No problem. That I will wait in the call.
Yeah. Thanks for your patience, Nelson.
Okay. So, Madan, with that, thanks for patience. You have transferred or you are going to transfer? What is that? After that,
He is the
thanks for
customer.
patience, you will transfer. You will transfer,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So, is the situation over?
Yeah. Completed this.
All right. Okay. Let's give a big round of applause, either on the mic or virtually. Round of applause for both Nelson and Madan. Okay. When we were wanting volunteers, they came up. I would like to appreciate you. It is not easy to go ahead and do something before the group, even if they are your colleagues. Thank you so much for doing that. I really appreciate it. One last role play. Last role play. Okay. Now, the scenario is you're going to initiate a conversation with a client. And when you're initiating a conversation with a client, small talk is very important. We know what is the small talk. Use the power of body language. Come in the video, sit straight. Okay. Don't slouch on your chair like this and then show your tummy and all that. Okay. Just sit like that. Okay. And then tone and words. Okay? Don't worry about words. Concentrate on the tone now. Close the conversation, remembering one of those sentences. Thank you for calling. Have a great day, or thank you for this interaction, whatever. Easy, 4 steps. Initiate a conversation with the client. If you want to imagine, you can imagine it as a face-to-face conversation also. Client has come to visit the office. You are initiating a conversation with the client. Start it, and then let's see how you close it. 2 other volunteers, please. Quickly, people. 12:30 it is already. Uh, who wants to do this? Easy only, no? We're just going to initiate, not even a business
Okay.
conversation.
So I'll be on one end.
Hmm.
Okay. So I'll be on the client end or customers end. So any volunteers, maybe Gopal or anyone?
Yeah,
I'll give you a
I'll join.
typical scenario, right? Okay. Hey, hi Gopal. So this
Hi.
is Vijay. I'm calling from CCB YouTube. So today we had a scenario. You know that there is a prime time going on, right? There's a National Football League which is going on, and we have around 75 customers got affected, and the entire North American region got affected with calls because we got a few issues. Can you troubleshoot and get it into a P0?
Hi, Vijay. Thanks for joining the call. So, hope you're doing. Hope you're doing well. I will look into the issue. We'll get back to you within the few minutes. So, just hold on few minutes to check this. Okay.
Okay, so your voice is a bit jarring. Can you a bit stay away from the mic? Just
Is audible for me? Hello.
yeah, it's audible. It's audible now.
Okay. Now it's audible. Yeah, maybe sorry for the disturbance because of my fan is running. So
Yeah.
it's now it's audible.
Yeah. Go ahead, Gopal.
Okay. So thanks, Vijay, for joining the call. So, you're talking about for the NFL, one of the major issues. So we look into the issue, and if I am not aware of the issue, I will transfer to next person, next team to look in this issue. Okay.
Sure, Gopal. Anytime.
Okay. Thank you. So after conversation, you check with one of the floor. They have some issues going on, so they will fix after a few minutes. So we'll get back to you. So can you please hold on the meet or we'll get back to you after few time?
Yeah. So maybe I'll be back after half an hour since there are a lot of customers got affected. You know about the $1 billion impact, right, for this project.
Yes.
So some of my point of contacts would like to interact with you. Maybe I'll arrange for a bridge call every 1 hour. Will that be fine with you till the issue got fixed?
Sure, I understanding issue. I will look in the high priority basis. We'll do that. We'll give the as soon as possible to fix the issues. Okay, we'll do that.
Wonderful. Yeah, that'll be great. Thanks a
Thank
lot,
you.
Gopal.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, Gopal. Thank you, Vijay. Let's give both of them a big round of applause, please, on the chat or on the emoticon. But please do clap, okay? Because it's not easy, because Vijay brought in a real-time situation, okay? So thank you so much for taking in the initiative, Gopal, and kind of like collaborating with Vijay and performing that. Appreciate it. So we are almost towards the end of our session, okay? Of all the beings in this world, human beings are the only set of beings who have this ability to converse, who have the ability to talk. So the best of life is conversation. All right. So go ahead and speak. Don't worry about right, wrong. Come out of all that hesitation. You are already attending training sessions like this. Continue the momentum. That's why, Vijay ensured that it is happening weekly so that we will get that rhythm. And after that, you get the rhythm, don't leave it. Okay. So with that note, this is a quick summary of all that we have seen so far. I will also share this as a participant guide along with the recording. We can take questions a little later, but I would like to ask you a key takeaway. Okay. Randomly, few of you can give the key takeaway. We can wind up the session. And in the group, I will share the feedback form link. You can feel free to give your feedback because I work on the feedback from the next module. So if feedback can be implemented, I pick it up and I incorporate it in the next one. So your feedback is valuable. I will take separately, that because I don't want to extend. So key takeaway from you. What is your key takeaway? When I say key takeaway, what is something which impacted you? What do you think is something which you are taking away from the session? Randomly, can one or two people tell me, please? If you want, I can keep the summary slide. Maybe you can pick up from there also. What are you taking away from the session? Is the question clear?
Yeah, Jasmine, I think body language, you told like 55% body language, tone, and word. I thought it's just a word, but here you told like body language is the main key role. Now also, I'm not the position of the body language, but I'm sure that thank you.
Thank you so much, Madan. And you've been interactive right from the beginning. I appreciate that. Okay.
Thanks, Jasmine.
You're welcome. Director Nelson.
Yeah. So what I understand in the sense sorry for the camera. What I understand in the sense throughout this meeting, so we have to start the conversation very confident, And so coming to the, I'm randomly checking that summary to that next point is we have to speak it very clear and we have to clarify that. And the points what I strike on my mind in the sense, we have to don't want to speak technically to the customers in the relationship with the with the customer. And that's it. That's what I think right now.
Thank you very much. Yes. How about others? Just one more minute I'll take and then we will wind up.
Small talk.
Small talk. Okay. Krishna Prakash, would you want to share what's your takeaway? Lokesh? We are not able to hear you, Krishna Prakash. If you want, you can put it in the chat also if there is a technical difficulty. Lokesh, would you want to share?
Yes, Jasmine, how to interact with the customer, how to start, how with the conversation.
Okay.
That is,
All right. Okay. All right. Would anyone else want to share? Thank you, Lokesh. All right. So, with that note, thank you very much for listening to me. Appreciate your time. Learning is not important. Going ahead and implementing it is important. Go through the guide, participant guide later on and implement 1 or 2 tips continuously for 3 weeks so that you will see a change. I'll see you all in the next session. Have a very nice day ahead. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, Jasmine.
Bye.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Jasmine.
Yes.
Bye.